There's one for $75.
That's pretty fucking good.
There's
It's a
110
couch
reviews,
desk.
and it Sheldon and I are talking about two different things.
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
I'll send you the link.
Send me the link.
I don't know if it's good, but it could last you at least like a year or two.
I mean, if it can get me like a couple of months, or until I find another, or a couple of months. I don't want to say anything. The one time they'll fucking fight me. I am recording.
Yeah, we are. We're recording right now.
We never
Welcome to Liquid
record
Courage
this.
Podcast.
We did the thing.
Where we talk about couch appliances and cool chairs.
It's
for your
called-
brain pad.
It's called a soft open. God, get with it.
I love soft opens.
Soft opens are the best. We're more
like
interesting.
I like a little bit of music and then a soft open.
Well, we're not playing music because my hard drive is corrupted.
You're listening to Liquid Courage. I just stole that from The Dollop. Go listen to The Dollop. It's a fun podcast.
So, Tim. That's Tim, by the way.
Well, hey, yeah, that's Tim.
Taylor.
Tim broke his chair. I didn't break my chair, but I moved, and Sheldon
broke his
said
spirit.
words. So let's just address it off the top.
Tim, what happened to the last episode?
Yeah, that's the one. I thought you were gonna say, Tim, what happened to your chair? And I was like, that's not what we don't need to do that.
Well,
again.
as you said,
Yeah.
I sat down. So what happened? And you guys noticed it probably before I did because I kept crashing during a movie night.
Shit broke.
Is that I don't know how it broke. I still have the hard drive. It's still on the hard drive. I might be able to get it. I just haven't had time to really find a way to do it.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know if
errors
you want to
happen.
try to go for that episode. It's with the evil spirits in your computer.
Well,
There's no way you're getting to those.
There's two options here because that hard drive also has like family photos, all of my Twitch stuff, all of my YouTube stuff.
So nothing consequential, really.
You're right. You know, thanks. Just years of my
sorry.
life.
I'm feeling mean tonight.
It's okay because we recorded the episode, and the way that I record on there was the way that we were doing recordings for the esports company I was working for at the time, and it converts the file after we record it to a different file format. And so what must have happened is during that conversion, it must have corrupted completely and corrupted the hard drive in general. Now, it's not stopping the computer from coming on. The computer turns on. It just keeps trying to boot Windows from that drive, which doesn't have Windows on it, which is also an issue.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's two drives in that computer. The computer is still probably usable. It just needs time to... I just needed time to go and fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's still always possible we could get those recordings back. But if not, we might, as you suggested earlier while we were watching the episode, we might do that at the end of the season and come back to that episode.
So there's a lost episode of the Liquid Courage podcast that we're going to have to re-record. But for our takes to be genuine, we have to have forgotten it enough.
Yeah.
Like, because listen, if I just went back in there, I would just rehash the same jokes, and it just wouldn't hit.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't feel good.
Or we'd rush through it.
You all would tell how fake we were being.
Yeah, or we would rush through it and not give it any kind of justice. Like, it'd be a short episode, like super short.
Unlike these episodes, which were stellar.
Still.
Well, one for two.
Yeah, true.
One for 1.5. I guess 1.5 for 2.
Save it for your
only
ratings.
thing you want to ask from a lover, 50%.
So that's what'll happen. Apologies. It also delayed us for another month after we took a short hiatus to do other things in our lives because life has been rough for everyone. So
Life is, as you all know, life's not always a great time.
So
it can be rough.
we will get back to that episode sometime before the series is over. So anyways,
how are you boys doing today? I mean, you gotta be doing all right,
Oh.
right? Besides your broken chair, Tim.
Yeah, I also broke a chair today. Got to work late. Today's been a good day. You know, life sometimes.
Welcome to No Longer the Liquid Courage podcast, but the Tim, are you okay podcast?
No, but life is sometimes like a Baja Blast Mountain Dew that you find at Quick Trip. You wonder why this exists, and then you buy it, and the person at the counter goes, "Oh shit, this is real?" And you go, "Yeah, apparently so."
Hey, I love Baja Blast, but to the audience, Taylor and Tim are no longer friends.
Taylor and Tim are no longer friends. We don't do this podcast. No,
I mean, I didn't.
Podcast is over.
I never said I
podcast
liked it.
over.
I don't know.
That's fine. Bottled and canned Baja Blast never hits as hard as the Taco Bell.
I honestly,
I don't know what it is.
I bought it to just be like, because I've never seen it in bottle here in Wichita, so I've never seen it like that. So I bought it just out of the weird whim of having a bottle of Baja Blast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bottles are worse than cans, which are worse than the real thing.
I also agree with that, because Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel, way better in the can than in the bottle.
Oh man, that's my favorite sentence I've ever heard.
Hey, here's the thing. I agree with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's never as good as it is at Taco Bell. It's the same reason that Coca-Cola at McDonald's is better than Coca-Cola at most other places, because they give them a different formula for it.
No,
it's the same formula. They just up the syrup content.
I actually heard it's because they keep it cold.
Well, that could be that too.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's all different fucking bullshit. They keep the syrup cold where everybody else. Yeah, everybody lies to sell their product.
Who knew?
I'm a successful businessman.
I was gonna say, as a marketing person, I agree. You lie always.
But this is not a Baja Blast podcast. This is a Courage the Cowardly Dog podcast.
Since when?
You're not wrong.
Oh God, I didn't expect the pause.
But we watched episode 9 of season 3, which contained Mondo Magic, and watch the Birdies. And it's just boy.
It's a bird-filled episode.
I'm doing the shaky hand thing. Just
I don't know.
This episode.
I had forgotten both of these.
This episode is for the birds.
There you go. There's a clean take.
If you turned into a horrific monster, but somebody loved you despite how you looked, is it really a loss? Really?
They took you away from the other person you loved.
Yeah, but you didn't seem to care at the moment.
But also, he went out of his way.
Taking him away from Eustace. Is that really a loss?
I personally don't think so. You know what, Sheldon? You have won this case.
Be a devil's advocate here.
Alright, he turned it. Alright, next episode.
I'm saying Courage didn't know what he was doing.
This Courage the Carrot the Dog podcast episode is 20 minutes long. So, Mondo Magic. I had forgotten that this existed.
As most people did.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Magic items show up on your property, a random box.
Yeah.
Why did it show up even? Was there a commercial on the television that showed magic?
It was essentially outside. Courage and Muriel were Muriel was hanging clothes up on the line. I think Courage was dicking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a knock at the door and a package appeared. And man, simpler time, which isn't true, by the way. This is 2002.
We just didn't hear the.
Hey, folks, don't take random mysterious packages into your home and open them. Open them on the porch, or don't open them.
Yeah, this is post Unabomber. I mean, come on.
if it's a package that you did not order. But then again, some sneaky thieves.
Unless
you really need that package.
Unless.
Be anything. Lest.
It's a gift.
Of course. It has a bow on it? Open
It's got a bow on it. Open it.
It's not a bomb.
Disclaimer: we don't follow any advice given by the Liquid Courage podcast. They are not experts. Please,
except for the advice we said, don't bring it into your home.
Yeah, except that's good. Man, this disclaimer's long.
This is like a medical commercial.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go to the index of this disclaimer and find all the keywords.
Do you have itchy, watery hands? Take Lacoma. Warning: Lacoma will cause itchy, watery hands, itchy, watery eyes, itchy, watery feet, itchy, watery nostrils, itchy, watery nostrils, leukemia, cancer, other forms of cancer,
radiation poisoning,
lymphoma.
Oh, not lymphoma.
Gingivitis and death. You won't have itchy, watery hands.
Gingivitis, the gooey
and
killer.
hemorrhoids.
The term "watery hands" has made me upset, and I said it.
I mean, as a man who has suffered from watery hands, I can tell
That's not what we call it. They're clammy.
No,
watery implies something else.
He's an X-Man, obviously.
You're right.
He can shoot water out of his
is
hands.
more of a blessing than a curse, let me tell you.
Water. It'd be like Damp Man. What does he do? He touches the drapes and they're all drippy.
Ew, that's gross. Don't touch our drapes,
Spider-Man supervillain Hydro Man, who's water.
I'll defeat you, Magneto, with the power of my damp handshake. Go away. Stop.
There's so many worse films than that. What about the kid that can change channels with the blink of his eyes?
That is true. That is an X-Man.
You mean anyone with an Amazon Alexa?
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 was a lot different back in the early thousands.
Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog is a show about X-Men.
What if Courage the Cowardly Dog is an X? What if Courage the Cowardly Dog was Beast?
I mean, there is an X-Man that can change reality just by imagining it.
Much more seriously.
Well, we shouldn't, because it's better this way.
Season 3. And I took my shirt off.
Showing off the guns.
Folks, we're going... This is our episode
Shirtless
back.
podcast.
It's been a couple months since we've been away. Taylor's taking his shirts off and no holds barred.
It's a shirtless podcast now. No hold barred.
Is there a veterinarian?
I'm coming for you, Hulk Hogan.
Because those pythons are sick.
Come to the cage ladder match where the ladder's on top of the cage.
It's a cage made of ladders. Then you have to use a ladder to climb out of, and then there's a ladder on top that you have to climb to the rafters, and then that's where you fall.
And everybody's
that's how the Blue Blazer died.
Yeah, but no. Ugh. A moment of silence.
Yeah, we did. We gave it to him.
For the Blue Blazer.
So Mondo Magic shows up.
Yeah, so, well...
okay,
yeah,
the box
so
is there.
It's a Mondo...
Yeah.
It's a magic... Is it supposed to be a magic kit?
Yes.
Yes. It's something, you buy it at a dollar store, give it to your niece. And
did you guys have the magic kits?
Yeah.
Did you have the fake thumb?
No, mine was always like simple, like not. Yeah, fake thumb. That wasn't in mine though. Mine was the fake card tricks and the cup and ball.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. The disappearing milk. You could get that one too.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I think the disappearing milk's from the finger trick.
I think so. I think
probably
you're
right. The drink, the thirsty finger.
I also
that sounds like an Urban Dictionary fucking entry right
there.
Yeah,
the thirsty finger.
What's wrong with Jerry? He's got the thirsty finger. Oh man, I took that girl home last night and I fucking got the thirsty finger. Holy shit, man, you got the thirsty finger. I know, it was crazy.
Oh, it's not on Urban Dictionary.
And that's when you put a finger in someone's nose and twist it around and then lick it.
And then you go home alone because no one's gonna fuck you after that.
And that's why you're so thirsty.
See?
Oh fuck, he brought it home.
That definition's not on Urban Dictionary, but lursty is. Lursty is a state of being, a funky, drunk feeling after drinking alcohol. Dancing
I like
about, feeling loose and groovy.
I like that Tim is essentially our like, I'm a fact or tidbit guy.
I had to
Come on.
be.
You didn't have to be. Nobody asked you. You took on this role voluntarily. Do not tell our audience that we're like, all right, we gotta have one guy with those facts and tidbits, and Tim's like, fuck, I'll do it. Okay.
Hey man, at least he has a gimmick.
Sheldon,
I
you have a
don't.
gimmick. You're Sheldon. And
All
that's
right,
the
I'll
best
take it.
gimmick ever.
So anyway, Mondo Magic shows up. Courage does some cool tricks, like making a bouquet of flowers, but first he made a bouquet of fish.
I take it.
Yeah, and when he opens up the chest, he goes to like open it again, and
Kevin Sorbo shows up.
fucking
Kind
Kevin
of.
Sorbo
Yeah.
shows up. Honestly,
And we all knew it was downhill from here.
it's a David Copperfield. It's your
It's your magician.
what was the name of the
man.
guys that own the Tigers?
Siegfried and Roll?
Siegfried and Roy.
Good job, Tim. I couldn't fucking.
I was like, one
It
of
involves
them's Roy,
tigers. And all we can think about is that movie we watched.
Don't watch Roar.
Don't watch
but
Don't
watch
do it.
Roar. Watch
Don't.
Roar.
Don't
Watch
watch Roar.
Watch.
No.
It's so fun.
It's not
No,
fun
it's not
in
fun.
the
It's
slightest.
So fun.
It's
It
PG
is
though.
literally watching
It's
a
PG.
bunch of. It's watching a bunch of people worry that they're gonna die to tigers
It's
and lions.
And lions.
And panthers
And
and
a
elephants.
jaguar.
Don't
and-
watch Roar.
Watch Roar.
And probably malaria too. To be
Well,
totally
they're
honest.
White people in Africa.
Just saying.
This was in the 80s. They had the drugs.
They were doing a lot of them. Yeah, that's for sure.
Not the
you-
money, but the drugs.
Did you know that gin and tonics allowed the British Empire to go deeper and deeper into Africa?
Because people just
Because
love gin and tonic.
'Cause
In
gin
tonic
is a-
water,
Ah,
in tonic water, there is quinine.
which
And
is used in
quinine
treatment.
is a treatment for malaria.
Ah.
Holy shit.
I know, it's crazy.
No wonder
the-
we're all
So crazy.
The magician shows up and he's like, he's like a David Copperfield. He's got the ladies
He's got
and the
the
tigers.
tigers with the Down syndrome and all that.
It's a bad animation on the tigers. I'm gonna be honest with you, folks.
They just had the googly eyes that a bunch of people have had, like the big rat
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it plays weirder on like
on a tiger.
it plays weirder on animals that have almost no personality
Right.
because that
No,
animal
Too mean. Don't say it.
it's just there. Like it just showed up and it was like that doesn't look right. I get the aesthetic we're going for. It's off. I understand.
It's funny.
But boy, it made me feel queasy.
He didn't feel right, everyone.
And the magician says, I don't do tricks, I do magic. When he pops up. And he's this tan,
Said
handsome
by
boy.
every magician in Vegas.
Every
Yep.
illusionist I've ever seen.
And Eustace is like, you're not real. Fuck off. And he
Get
goes,
out
"I'm
of
the-"
here.
And the magician's like, I'm the amazing Mondo. And Eustace is like, well, show me something amazing. And he pulls out a bag of dust. He starts doing cool tricks with it. Like he makes a tiny giraffe appear. But actually, the tiny giraffe was a tiger in disguise, which is some D&D bullshit that I've ever seen.
Hey man,
He
listen,
rolled a
you don't
20.
have to put yourself on display here. We all have been there for your Christmas special. All right.
That was my Lasers and Feelings Christmas special was very fun,
Oh, I was thinking about the time we killed Santa.
which was also the Christmas. Well, that was the other Christmas.
That was the
special.
other Christmas special.
We always have a
And
Christmas
it was
special.
a robot. We're fine. You
No,
saved the real one.
We
Yeah,
killed
that
it was
one was-
doppelganger.
Oh, no.
Doppelganger.
No, that was the doppelganger. And
Yeah, the doppelganger is Santa, which convinced me that hey, you should beat up your friends. And I went,
Well, that did end.
he's not wrong.
That did end our campaign either way. So does
no, it was run after that did end the campaign completely.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. But Santa was great.
Yeah.
But anyway, Eustace is that way because he's Eustace.
Eustace
Also,
is the guy that wouldn't believe Jesus' return if it happened right in front of him.
well, Eustace is Judas. Eustace is if he was back in the day, and someone was like, "I'll give you a shiny gold piece."
Oh, he's
He'd
over
be like,
there.
"Oh, he's
How
right
many
over there."
times do I need to stab him?
Yeah.
Jeez.
What if? No,
Yes.
it doesn't work. No,
Go
I
on.
was trying to be like, what if Courage the Cowardly Dog was an elaborate? Because like Butch Hartman's a fucking wacko now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Butch Hartman is pretty crazy.
Dwarf's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but he's not that wacko.
You're right. He's not.
He's not as wacko as John.
Also, nothing that we're saying here is legally actionable. These are our opinions. Blah 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 blah. Blah. But
He's right, you know.
I was like, what if it would be fucking nuts if this was like if Courage the Cowardly Dog was an allegory for Christianity?
That's one allegory. That's really large. Like, that's a hard sell you're taking there.
Man, I'm gonna have to see like a 4-hour fucking video essay on this.
I need a YouTuber to break this down for me with some very convincing B-roll of the same shot over and over.
Like, but god damn it, if I end up watching that and going, fuck.
You're gonna go, Taylor, did you make this? And I'm like, yeah, I did.
You know I did.
But
Taylor, goddamn it.
I digress. Courage or Mondo does a bunch of shit.
Does magic, man.
Yeah, well, he takes Eustace and because he requires an assistant for this next scene, and he takes a dash of
Pixie
powder and puts Eustace in the TV, and so Eustace is just, no matter the channel, being horribly tormented. And Courage at one point turned it off and laughed.
Wouldn't you?
Listen, how many times has Courage been abused?
I'm not upset by it. It's just one of those moments where it's like,
Johnny,
okay,
Courage, are you a sociopath?
Nothing of value is lost.
Yeah, that is literally what you said when we were watching it.
You're
nothing
like, wow.
of value is lost. I was like,
literally,
nothing.
net gain.
Honestly, yes.
The family isn't abused anymore.
Well,
but where's the money coming from, huh?
About that.
Okay, but no, hang on. You shut the fuck up, Tim. Where was the money coming from to begin with, Sheldon?
Eustace's retirement plan.
They're both old.
But she didn't have one.
And when you die, your spouse gets your Social Security, baby.
But he's not dead.
Well, I mean, legally actionable missing will be presumed dead.
But they'll see him on the TV.
I think it's just their TV.
It takes longer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
We don't have proof.
Hey, Sheldon. Magic.
Also, unplug that cord, stick that shit in the basement. Don't worry about it. It's just another object that needs to go with like the Covenant of the Ark and all that.
If wizards can wizard away their shit.
Hold on. Tim, that is the hardest hell you have ever described. Being
I told you about
the
my day
darkness of the nothing that is just, you turn off everything and he's just like, I guess this is better than getting beat up.
He exists and doesn't exist all at the same time.
The best part about that is, so 30 years later, and this is my now fan fiction, I'm writing for Courage. 30 years later,
trademark.
They sell the house, and in the basement there's this old TV, and two young couple, they plug in the TV, and now in all of their shows they see
No, Tim.
Wait, no, hang on.
Tim, your Courage.
No, this is this is golden.
Really
Don't
good.
knock this shit. This is actually really great
This
because of.
It's not.
You guys free this summer?
Do you want to shoot something, or do you want to trap an old person in a television? Which do you want to do?
First one, then the other.
Okay. Well, it's the same thing in my book.
But so Eustace gone. He calls up another assistant. It's Muriel. He tosses the cool fucking dust. He also keeps telling Courage it's all about the show, kid. It's all about the show.
It's all about presentation.
It's all about presentation.
PowerPoint.
And he
preferably
does this thing, and then eventually a fun slug eye pops out of Muriel, and then another one does too. And he goes, "Show's over, kid. We're good."
And then the Goosebumps episodes.
Well, he starts to walk away, and Courage does a fun little dog thing, which he only sometimes does, and he bites the back of his cape to hold him back.
It's revealed to be a horrible monster.
It's a green.
We've seen this monster before, though.
Have we?
In every episode, he was in the intro.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
he's.
But I'm pretty sure he showed up in an actual episode before then. But I can't really.
He might have been a background boy.
I think.
Yeah.
This is, and I don't want to.
It's in your trivia, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, it is.
You shut the fuck up. We'll get there.
Yeah,
okay.
and so he turns out he's a horrible monster, a horrible slug-eyed, green-shelled, creepy boy, and he's like, Muriel's gonna become my bride. Muriel's like, I feel upset about this, but not enough to stop anything.
Not enough to actually do anything.
Well, because she keeps fucking hanging out with him.
Well, she looks at
because her feelings are changing. She's falling in love.
Is that the implication?
I think so. She was turning into such a horrible monster. She started to see things through his eyes.
Yeah.
Which was the first thing she changed. Boom! I nailed it. Anyway,
which is
good
horrible.
analysis.
There are good messages all throughout this. Also, he turned a person into a monster so he could have a wife.
But even if you're a monster, if you're in love,
you deserve love.
If you're in love and happy, do you have to? I sound like a really bad email from the foreign shores.
Even monsters deserve love, but
they have to
force someone to love you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is a force of circumstance. This is not.
But we do not know if it was for. What if she was just changing? She's like, you know what? I actually like this feeling.
He seems pretty cool.
He actually holds me tenderly.
He did.
He actually seems to care about my feelings.
He did.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's.
Am I rooting for the monster?
Everyone is.
Listen, the whole thing is, though, that he. I don't know, man. It's like a gray line. It's a gray area.
There's no. I mean, nothing.
It doesn't help that Eustace is literally chaotic evil, but you know.
Yeah, but here's the worst thing about this. This is a children's cartoon. I don't know, like...
You don't know how deep the philosophy of this goes.
Yeah, like, I don't know at what point they're like, this is a filler episode, and then fucking...
Remember that moment in one of the first episodes where I was like, okay, fucking people on the internet when you're philosophizing? And then I realized as I was saying that statement that I was like, God damn it, this is the entire premise of the show that I have pitched to these two idiots. And I was like, God damn it, I'm the third idiot.
The best part about that is like, you did come to us. You're like,
yeah.
And then you also,
what
if we called it the Liquid Courage? She was like, that's a great idea. So everyone's involved.
Fuck it. It's an excuse to drink.
I mean,
but
yeah.
But it's more like an excuse to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And that movie later in the night.
Yeah.
We could watch Tremors.
First off, everything I show you is fun.
I don't know.
I don't know about
Roar is pushing it. I wanted to watch something that makes me uncomfortable again.
I have a question. Did you watch it at the end of your seat?
No,
I watched it at the inverse of my seat, but I was shitting my pants the whole time.
Yeah,
because you're terrified that you're going to watch someone die on screen.
They pretty much
Someone did die on screen. They just didn't publish that fact.
No, nobody died on screen.
Are you sure?
There are arms and
Are
fucking
you 100% sure?
Yeah.
Thrown around.
But Vindaloo shows up for the first time in ages.
It's been a while.
In
he
a whole
rides
season.
in
In
on
this
that
episode.
elephant.
Yeah, well, that was what was weird, because I think it's supposed to be an Asian elephant, but its ears are too big, and this is where I know too much about elephants.
Hey, man, elephants are great.
I know, they're an asshole in Roar.
At the zoo that I currently live by, there's two little baby elephants, and they're
Did you get to
very
pat one on the
cute.
nose?
Well, no, because they're like, don't fucking touch them.
Oh.
And you're
Also,
like,
most
yeah.
of the big cats and little cats are kind of off display because they can catch COVID.
Oh, I don't want a cat to catch COVID.
Yeah, I know. But Vindaloo shows up because Courage calls him. And
how do you fight magic?
He shows up and he's like, yeah, that's some shit, when he does an examination of Muriel. And the other alien monster thing is just kind of like go away, but like not super hostile to begin with. I found
my significant other. You can fuck right off, Dr.
And
Vindaloo.
then Vindaloo said what Sheldon said. You got to fight magic with magic. And then Vindaloo gets turned into a head of lettuce by the magic dust.
Yes.
Never for cabbage.
It looked more cabbagey.
Yeah, and the only reason we say lettuce because he said lettuce. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm a head of lettuce. Goodbye.
I'm accurate. Then Courage is like, oh no.
How do I fight magic?
Muriel, yeah, he's got to figure it out. Muriel and the horrible creature is inside the house. They're pretty scaly. Courage is like, I don't know what I'm going to do. The creature is like, you only got a few minutes left, an hour left there, bud. Figure it. Too bad. Ha 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 ha.
I win.
They start watching TV. Eustace is being dogged by Indy cars. They both laugh and laugh and laugh like you do with a lover. Courage is like, oh no. And the echo of like performance kind of like goes in there. He tries to like cover her head with a sheet and do magic. It doesn't do anything. Muriel smacks him, and that's when we know that she's not a normal person. Like, normally
she's
her.
More normal than she has been in years. She has to hide her real self from Eustace.
And then
God, this is horrible.
She roars at Courage. Mondo tells Courage to get real, kid. And Courage is like, I don't have any... He's not a magician compared to Mondo.
Well, when you have a fucking bag of magic dust, it's not really fair.
It's not fair. It'd be like, all right, I've shown up to this knife fight with an AR-15. Well, one of those doesn't seem very fair, Jim. And you're like, well, what is a gun but shooting tiny knives? And you're like, well, fuck, I guess he's right, Terry. Hold on to your switchblade. I hope you win.
I prefer this story to be when someone goes, that's not fair. Jim goes, well, then drop your knife. I have the
high ground.
That's not fair. I have the U.S. military dropping knife missiles on people.
I found a fucking drone knife.
Did you know that a knife missile is a real thing?
It
is a missile that is... Thanks, Locker B. Martin and fucking Raytheon. I think it's the Raytheon knife missile.
Yeah,
Raytheon. It's a missile that when it comes out of the fucking sky, instead of deploying a payload, it deploys like 7 knives out the side of it. Like long fucking knives that just eviscerate its target.
Not too long ago, that was one of the reasons we were having more problems in the Middle East than we needed to with the Americans.
It's so cool.
It's just like, why the fuck does this exist?
Because you can't drop bombs, Tim. That's too big. You gotta go small.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so Courage does a fun thing where he does... Well, Sheldon, you said even when you were a kid, it didn't make any sense to you how he tricks the alien with his face magic.
Yeah, because, we've all dealt with children.
Yeah.
He does that thing where he holds like a thing in front of his face and he smiles and he frowns when he flips his hand down, and he smiles when it goes up and then frowns when it goes down.
And unlike the alien who was baffled,
we all figured it out.
This is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And
the alien's a baby.
He uses that to distract Mondo and get the dust, which they have a dust fight on Muriel.
Yeah, he turns her into a cactus, a cow. I think there's
Vindaloo.
And Vindaloo, that's the third. You're right. And he goes, I'm free! And then they turn him back.
And then you have all of the dust being used up, and then Courage being able to, he has 4 minutes left. The lights are dim. It appears that this is going to be a bit of a problem, and Courage remembers it's all about performance, and he uses that time to pull a duck out of a small cloth, giving the creature the bird.
Yep. Literal bird, a duck, I think at that point. Yeah.
You know, the smartest writing we've seen all day.
And then he uses the feather to sneeze, which Courage apparently had inhaled. I forgot this part in the beginning. He had inhaled some of the dust. He blew it all around the room, and bang, Muriel's back. Time is up. Go fuck yourself, scaly man who just wanted to feel loved. And Courage is then going to bring Eustace out of the TV, and we move on from there. And that's the end of that part one. It's so fucking much, my fellow listeners.
It's a lot,
so
though.
much.
It
Like
is
I get we fucking vamped, but we didn't need to vamp. But Jesus fucking Christ, there's so much there.
It is 12 paragraphs in the trivia just for the plot.
Well, yeah, like if you were right, it's a lot. It's fun. It's very fun. It's a good episode, start to finish. Oh, he also turned Mondo into a rabbit.
Yes, and Mondo escapes, goes, I'm going to talk to my agent.
Yeah, it was stupid. Get it, though. I got the joke, but, like,
Yeah.
come on.
Do you want to know any trivia about
They
this
couldn't
episode?
have put in line for line for with the Siegfried and Roy, though. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah, you're right, they didn't. But, of course, this is the first appearance of Mondo. Not the
Is
last. He comes
It
back.
is not.
Carmen,
shows up.
aka the dragon lizard thing. It's one of the things chasing Eustace on the TV.
Yeah.
Muriel seems to
Carmen.
lose her normal personality after accepting that she couldn't stop Mondo's magic. She
Well,
roars
if
at
I
Courage.
have to be a monster,
Don't
I
know
might
why-
as
hard
well love it.
Yeah.
Don't know why that one's trivia. It seems more like a plot point. The title card music is the same used for Canadian cartoon Atomic Betty, which is not a bad cartoon at all.
But
What?
also, Atomic Betty came to the U.S., too.
Yes, it did, but not before this episode aired.
So was it Canadian first then, eh?
It was. It was on.
I
what
forgot
the-
about
No.
Atomic Betty entirely.
All right. Well, Tim, I'm going to have to go ahead and usurp your trivia throne.
Oh,
Is it
you
wrong?
can't do that to him.
In Canada, the series originally aired in August of 2004 to January of 2008.
For Courage or
Atomic Betty.
this episode came out in 2002. So you're
I
right.
know. So, in theory,
You
So,
right.
hold
the
on, hold on.
Atomic Betty theme lifts from Courage.
I was gonna say you are correct in that regard. I'm not gonna say you're wrong because obviously I didn't
You-
write these
you
facts.
right.
either. Like I don't.
I
fucking care.
have the receipts.
Yeah, but
Don't
like
say.
what they said was not wrong. It's the same music used for that episode. It doesn't matter which episode came first. They both just
I'm
used the
also
same
not
music track.
100% sure that that's
Real?
It might just be a sound alike.
Probably. A lot of stock music sounds alike at some point. As a man
Yeah.
who uses stock music a lot, it does. And people make stock music to sound like other music. So, like, yeah.
Because that's how you get away with playing the original music. It's
Well,
just
that's
stock
how you-
music that sounds very similar.
As a man who makes commercials for a living, when someone goes and yeah, I want something like the Beatles, and you search in your music library for Beatles, and it goes, this sounds like the Beatles. You go, okay. Client happy. The next trivia fact is, after Courage is finished performing his magic tricks, Eustace tells him to make himself disappear. This joke was reused from John Diller's short film for Liquid Television named Smart Talk with Raisin, which we all
yeah.
watched. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Hamilton, who was
You must
Courage's
watch it.
prototype. So,
It's fun and weird. Go watch it.
this episode shares its music with the episodes Everyone Wants to Direct, Angry Nasty People, and The Bride of the Swamp Monster. That's also correct.
Correct Mundo, baby.
And this next one, I don't know if it's correct. The head of lettuce has become a popular meme. You know?
What?
And now I'm a head
No.
of lettuce. I can
Look,
see it becoming a meme, but it's not a
I'm
popular
plugged
one.
into the Gen Z culture more than the two of you.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, it hasn't.
No shit, it hasn't. No, neither of us would tell you it was, because we both went, no, that's not correct.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I could read the quotes. I'm not
No,
going
we're
to.
good.
What about production notes?
Thank you, bud.
Absolutely
I'm,
not.
I'm okay, actually. I think looking at the production notes, I'm going to say
As I
Good.
look at the revolver on my
No,
nightstand,
it's
no.
not anything anyways, so the only thing in there is that it says this episode aired in 2001, which it did not.
He's reading the notes to us,
it
even
was
though we told
finished
him
in
not to.
2001, but it aired in 2002 because, of course, it did.
I didn't read it. He did.
Well,
You-
I have to claim jump Tim sometimes.
I don't know
have to be
why.
That's mine.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing it. But whatever.
Also, before we rate, I don't know if you can tell, dear listener, but the next episode we're gonna go pretty fast. The next
You
half,
don't know that.
I do.
Hmm.
Did Atomic Betty aired in the U.S., right?
It did eventually, but I don't think it had enough episodes. I don't think it kept going.
Did it only have like a couple episodes?
I
on
remember
Cartoon
it.
Network?
So,
I remembered it after you guys talked about it, so it aired.
I've definitely seen the animation for it. It may be that they had the cartoon pilot thing again, where they showed a bunch of different pilots and had people vote on it.
You might be right.
Yeah, because I think it lost to Codename Kids Next Door, to be totally honest. Which, rightfully so, that show was amazing. Like, I love Codename Kids Next Door.
Watch that as an adult.
I have.
Yeah.
Do you remember how there was an entire character's entire thing was he'd go into children's bedrooms and spank them?
Yeah.
You mean Count Spankulot?
That's the creepiest fucker I've ever.
No, he
thought
did it
of.
for justice.
It's so
I mean,
weird.
He only spanked naughty children. Taylor.
All of them
What's
were
wrong
bad.
with
Do
you?
you remember the fucking two guys that were a reference to the James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Fib.
Yeah, they were the first villains.
Of
They were
course.
literally the first villains.
Yeah, one looked like a walrus, one looked like a bison.
Yep. That's exactly right. And they, the very first episode, they were pool lifeguards.
And they basically
Fucking
fought
weird,
from
man.
a lifeguard chair.
Yep, and all their episodes, they're
You know
always
what?
sitting.
Codename Kids Next Door, that's our next podcast, isn't
I love it. I'll do it.
it? Love it.
I love it.
For Taylor, it'll be a new experience. He probably didn't like it.
I watched. I didn't watch them in order, but I definitely watched it.
Did you watch the one where they made eye crust, the crust for...
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's one of my
Sheldon.
favorite ones. It's a noir
What about the
detective
great
story.
white asparagus? What about that
I
That's a
give
good one,
this
too.
episode.
one?
I give this episode 4 squidgy alien snail eyes out of 5.
Eh,
Maybe 4.5. I like this one a lot.
you really... It was okay. I've been a lot of threes, though, so I might have to fucking, like, knock it down a peg.
Is it worse than the other 3s you've given?
No.
All right, there you go. It can't be any lower than a 3.
There you go. Do you
Well,
want
then
to go?
you've just nailed it to a 3.
There
I'll
you
give
go.
it 3 David Bowie boots out of 3.
The very
Yeah,
start
the David
of the
Bowie.
episode. Very start of the episode, we saw boots while Muriel was hanging up clothes.
Clothes.
You're
Yeah.
right.
That would have been better if David Bowie was in this episode.
Yeah.
He was available.
He had a lot of contracting problems, though. He
And
couldn't be in the Venture Brothers. He certainly couldn't be in this.
that's true. He's like, cartoon what? No, fuck that.
Cartoon what?
He's also British, right? So he'd be like, cartoon what? Fuck that.
But to be fair, David Bowie also voiced a snowman, so like
It's true, he did. Let's see. I want to give this one 4 accepting your fates out of 5.
You
I
know,
get that. before we move on, are you guys? Do you guys watch a lot of James Bond?
Yeah.
No.
So, in Codename Kids Next Door,
Okay.
Oh.
with Mr. Was it Mr. Wink and Mr. Fib?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Wink and Mr. Fib. You
They're
nailed it.
they're based on the two assassin characters, Mr. Wint and Mr. Kid, from the 1971 spy film known as Diamonds Are Forever. And in that movie, you have like just a fucking crazy amount of shit that goes on.
It's fun to watch. If you watched it recently, it'll actually make you laugh at how like crazy it is. It's like watching Moonraker or like some of the bad James Bond movies.
Moonraker's fun. Fuck off. I love Moonraker.
I never said it. Like all James Bond movies, well, except for His Majesty's Secret Service, are good.
Also,
Listen, the
you
only
mean
one
the-
I know is
which one?
Octopussy.
Octopussy's real fun.
Yeah.
But
His
it's,
Majesty's Secret Service, not good. Also,
it's
Double
fine.
007 is fun to watch, but not a James Bond movie, technically.
It's not, no. Well, there's actually several. There's at least one other Sean Connery movie that's not technically a James Bond movie, but is a James Bond movie. It's a fun. We'll talk about the rights off air. I know too much, but anyway,
I do too. This is the problem.
those
We're
two
gonna go
gentlemen,
off the rails.
those two gentlemen are murderers. Like that's just
Yeah.
that's their entire job. They're assassins, and the fact
I thought
that
you
they
were
were
talking
like,
about real life actors, not
No.
movie. And I was like, oh.
no, but the fact that they're like, what if we just made them the Kid Next Door guys?
I mean,
So silly.
there's a lot of that in Kids Next
You
Door,
just
though.
talked about a guy that likes to spank kids.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
there's a lot like
Like,
that. In Kids
They
Next
can
Door.
go anywhere after that.
All right, we gotta do the next one now.
Watch
Do
the
we have
Birdies.
to?
We
yeah,
do.
watch the Birdies.
So I will take the lead
Boys
on
and
this
girls,
one.
what if a bird wanted to fuck a man?
What if a bird wanted to go to Boca Raton for the weekend?
Yeah, and we start there. The scene opens.
The
So
scene opens on a
Muriel
bird,
feed-
spread eagle on the bed.
But,
Yeah.
mm,
kind of
I've never been more uncomfortable, and I don't have a shirt on.
your choice of words. I'm still weirded out by that fact. Anyways, do you want me to take lead on this one, Taylor?
Yeah, I don't care. One of you do, because I
I'll do
don't.
it.
I've zoned out, man.
I'll literally go to places we shouldn't.
I got it. So, Muriel, this episode starts up. Muriel and Courage are feeding birds
Yep.
outside while Eustace is inside waiting for his breakfast. Of course, they're feeding these small blue birds that Taylor, even you said, resemble Twitter in some shape or form. As well as maybe titmouse. I don't know if you've seen their symbol, but it's awesome
Sure.
that. So they're little blue birds. They're eating. One of them spits a seed right back at Courage, hits him in the face, and it laughs at him, which is funny, I guess.
Which is life.
So
Fuck that bird. Go on.
at this point, Courage is just looking at Muriel, and Muriel's like, just be nice to the... As she gets grabbed by a vulture and flown away to a far enough place. Courage then loses his shit. I don't remember what he turns into or what happens necessarily.
Well, he goes
he
in
runs inside, yeah.
He wants to tell Eustace that the love of his life has been taken away from him by this hungry bird. I was gonna say hungry hippo. I don't know why. And then Eustace, being the mature self that he is, goes a booga booga booga, you dumb fucking dog.
Yeah, he scares Courage with the mask, as he does. And Courage runs out screaming.
He is wont to do.
Yeah. Then Courage realizes that there is a big-ass tree outside. So Courage runs up the tree as best as he can and sees Muriel there with 3 baby birds and a mama bird. Vulture, if you will. Who, the vulture is...
Vultures
saying-
are birds, Tim.
I
Those
know,
are
but...
birds, Tim. You know that, right? Do I need to do bird facts? Vultures, very large. They're scavengers.
You're not Brennan Lee Mulligan. Get out of here. No, it's
true facts.
no, it's just. So he climbs up the tree. He's in the nest. The mama vulture goes, "Oh, it's so hard being a mother of 3. Single mother."
Crows remember faces.
Yeah.
But vultures remember dicks.
I'm so happy I'm getting this chance to go out of town this weekend to find a man. And she's fixing her makeup, her eyes and eyelashes.
We've all
and
been
stuff.
lonely. We can't bash her.
It's real weird, man.
The mama vulture just says, "Now don't let anything happen to him," and just flies off.
I'll eat your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Essentially.
The baby bird's eyes are terrifying.
Yeah.
But as that happens, Courage climbs into the nest, and the baby birds start crying. And Muriel goes, "Oh, Courage, thank God you're here. We need to feed the birds." So Courage runs down the tree again.
Tuppence for the birds.
And he goes and makes a whole 3-4-course meal for the birds. Gives a little bit of it to Eustace. So that
it looked kind of like slush. Sorry, like a meat, and then
there was escargot.
Yeah.
Well, he should have known.
There was some pancetta.
Yep, it was a good meal. It was like chicken legs too. It's not a bad meal.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he tried to feed them.
No, vultures are scavengers. They eat any kind of meat. They're gonna eat bird meat. Also, there's a lot of birds that eat other birds, man.
Yeah, there's the bird.
Chickens will eat other chickens.
I'm pretty sure any farm animal will eat another farm animal if given the chance.
Man, I knew a rooster that would just. They're mean fuckers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He had no legs. They froze off in the winter.
He just rolled toward you?
No, he ran on the little nubs.
Gross! Nope. I hate it.
He was fast, too. We weren't allowed outside because he would fuck you up.
That is a terrifying fact from your childhood. I will keep that with me, though.
Yeah, keep it with you. Remember my
plight.
Courage.
Remember me.
Courage tries to feed the babies the food, and Muriel goes, "No, they need worms," and the bird just starts screaming. So he jumps back down.
Like children do.
Jumps back down. He then grabs a bunch of worms and brings it up. He chews it in his mouth, grossingly, and then leaves it on his tongue so the baby birds come up and eat it off his tongue. So the birds are now fed. So
for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They'll need to be fed again. But
this whole episode is just feeding birds.
The second harmful thing the birds do, or what happens to the birds, is that Muriel and Courage are looking out towards the farmhouse and admiring the sun. It was the sunset, but admiring the
sun,
the landscape. Yeah, a little bit. And Courage turns around and sees the baby vultures playing volleyball with a beehive. And of course, Courage grabs the beehive away from them. And
not a good idea.
Goes and tries to nail it to a tree branch, which the bees said no.
At that point, the bees are pissed off enough. Just throw the beehive away.
But it turns out to help them. The end, because
I thought you just ended it. That was it. The end. All right, everybody. Good night. Have a good time.
The bees have their revenge, and
the bees will save the day because
Eustace.
Again, after Courage climbs back up the tree, the baby birds are hungry, and Muriel mentions that there's some fish bait in the bottom of the basement. If you go down there and grab that, it should be a lot easier than you digging up worms.
Which fucking what? Eustace has fished it once in this show.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
that's some old shit, man.
I'm honestly fucking hard pressed to remember a moment that he really fished in this show.
I want to say the underwater episode where they went to a puddle, but I don't.
No, he was fucking.
Yeah, that's true. He was trying.
That was in the bath, like.
He was trying to get laid in that episode. You're not wrong.
Who?
So, Courage runs down to the basement and grabs the bait, and as he comes up, Eustace sticks his head out and goes, "Hey, you thieving dog, that's my bait!" And chases...
I'm gonna use that 3 months from now.
Exactly.
When they're dried up in my bucket.
He chases Courage up the tree, to the top of the tree. And Courage, as he's trying to run away from Eustace, drops the bucket of worms and on the ground, and some of the worms are trying to escape. So he's trying to grab all the worms. Some of the worms go into a little hole in the ground, and in that hole there is a snake, a rattlesnake, I believe.
Well, I mean, it has a rattle. So.
It's Kansas. I don't think it is a rattlesnake, but it's a rattlesnake.
No, it is. We have rattlesakes, bud.
Okay, well,
Question: Is there a snake with a rattle that is not called a rattlesnake?
No. When I was, I was probably like 16. I went out to the state lake, which in my neck of the woods wasn't really a lake. It was meant for drainage.
Right.
But we
As
went
all
out to the state
Kansas
lake,
lakes
and I
are.
was walking across the dam.
It's sad.
And I was walking across the dam, and I was just kind of like hanging out, and I went to take a step, and as I went to take a step, I heard like this rattle kick off, and I looked down, and right where I was going to step was this rattlesnake that was probably like 7-8 inches long. Like, he was a little guy. And the thing they tell you when you encounter a rattlesnake is to stand still. And I'm going to tell you right the fuck now.
Do not do that.
You won't be able to. Unless you you fight, flight, or freeze. And I didn't have anything to fight a snake with. So I jumped 13 and a half feet in the air.
Oh.
I jumped so goddamn. My dad, who's 6 inches tall, was walking beside me, and he was like, ah, and didn't say anything before I almost stepped. I jumped so goddamn high in the air, and I turned around. Thinking games were like, you can't turn around. No one turns around in the air. When I did, I jumped up and I turned around and I ran back down the dam because it scared the living shit out of me. Because that was the first time I ever encountered a rattlesnake.
Hey, man.
And the statistic in Kansas is if you see one rattlesnake, you are within 6 feet of another one.
Yeah,
hey, man.
Very true.
If it was a baby one, like you said, you
it
saved
would
your own
have fucking
life.
killed me.
Yeah. Jesus, man. That's
You
rough.
fucking survived. That's all that matters, man.
My dad laughed his ass off, and he's like, yeah, I saw it. And I was like, tell me!
Yeah.
And he's like, well, did you learn anything? I was like, no!
What it's supposed to do? Run? He goes, no.
And he's like, you gotta like watch where you're walking. And I was like,
I
was like,
learned I could crash.
I was like,
could jump out of a situation. Thanks,
I was-
Pa.
I was like, hey, I know you were like in the army during the Cold War and learned like about landmines. I'm 16 and it's 2009 or 8, my dude. Didn't learn about that. Give me a heads up, bud. But
Never.
I digress.
You do. Courage goes to the hole to grab the worms and instead grabs a rattlesnake out of there and throws it into the bucket full of worms.
What is a snake if not a large worm?
Exactly, and runs up the tree while Eustace is following him.
We'll
So-
watch Tremors with you later, audience.
Someday. As
There are only 4 native venomous snakes in Kansas. One of them is the prairie rattlesnake.
I had no idea. I live in a city.
Hey, guess what? Bud? They're there too.
I know.
And you know what else is there? You know what's really fucking cool? Are the 2 cougars that keep getting spotted on Ring doorbells and hide.
They like to fuck you up.
They're
when you
fun.
answer the
Listen,
doorbell.
we see that as rodent repellent here in Wichita.
Mm.
There's a
You get you get your-
Facebook page that reports every time they see him, and it's like once a week.
In
Listen.
Kansas, you have the prairie rattlesnake in the western half of the state, the Muskogwa rattlesnake in the also
Eastern?
western half of the snake, or the state. You
I
have
took
the
a guess and I lost.
in the
boy.
eastern 2/3 of the state. You have the timber rattlesnake as well. So they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and should we not talk about another animal here
Drop.
in Kansas that is recently here? A tortoise that
Armadillos?
was kicked out of the Central County Zoo here in Central County because it was an escape artist, and they sent it to Tulsa, and now it's back here in Wichita.
Hey, man, turtles never forget.
They
I know.
don't.
I was like, why is he back? What? The
You also
fuck
have
are you doing?
tarantulas up in central Kansas now, bud.
Fucking
I mean,
tarantulas.
I've seen big
They
ass.
came up from
spiders.
Tejas.
I had a
Yeah.
box turtle named Speedy.
You also got armadillos.
I've seen those
And if
dead,
it wasn't
yeah.
for the leprosy, I'd have one of those too.
Oh. I don't know anything about that, but I
come
do
come
know.
up and see me.
Armadillo.
I'll show you some real cool ones at the zoo.
They have a lot of leprosy,
Well,
apparently.
certain ones carry leprosy.
Isn't it like the six-banded armadillo or something like that?
I think so, but like,
Just don't touch armadillos. Don't
it's
do
like
Land.
it's like most squirrels don't carry rabies because rabies kills squirrels before they can bite you. But like, are you gonna let a squirrel fucking get that close?
True.
Probably.
Well,
They steal from my bird feeder.
I fight squirrels on the daily.
It's probably where the histoplasmosis came from.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No, it probably
But-
came from anything.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Move
Courage
rattlesnake in the nest.
in the nest inside the bucket of worms. Courage grabs a handful of worms, chews it up like he did before, and then goes to grab another and realizes there's a rattlesnake in there.
He
The
tries to
rattlesnake
bite the
pops.
snake.
Yeah, the rattlesnake pops out and Courage spits all the worms on him. He goes, gross. And he looks over at the 3 baby vultures and goes, oh, babies. Huh, delicious. So he starts making his way towards them. At this point, Eustace has climbed up the tree as well and has just fallen face first into the nest. I can't remember why. I think Courage goes and tries to throw the beehive at the snake and misses and hits Eustace.
Covers no, because the beehive fell on Eustace earlier, so he's covered
Okay,
in honey.
there you go.
Then he
Sorry.
gets covered in the feathers that have been in the nest the whole time. Let me tell you, they
Exactly.
bugged me.
And
Yeah.
so now Eustace resembles what could be seen as a bird. So the snake looks over and realizes that Eustace is covered in feathers like a mama vulture would be and goes, oh, the mother, and starts going towards him.
Ugh.
Eustace then uses his moment of
Or,
realizing what's happening and tries to fly, can't, so he just jumps down the tree and the snake follows him. The rattlesnake, I should say, follows him.
yeah, you're right.
And so at that point, the episode kind of fades to when the mother comes back for the 3 babies.
Yeah.
And the mother just goes, I was not successful. I didn't find a man. But on the way back, I found a man. in the woods." And it's, of course, Eustace, covered in honey and feathers.
Eustace is into those bird girls.
Probably.
Oh, if he fell for a fish girl, he'll probably
Yeah, he
fall for a
did.
bird girl.
I mean, I don't put anything past him at this point.
Eustace is a freak.
So
Yeah, he is.
no one's gonna contest that. No one here likes Eustace. So I mean, like,
Hey man, you can be a freak and be a likable person. Eustace just happens to be the worst of both worlds.
true. Very
a freak
true.
and an asshole.
If there's nothing, Sheldon, you are progressive. But that is it for the plot of the show. It kind of just fades out there.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
filler.
It's a filler.
Yeah, as Eustace raises his new kids.
For trivia, we've already talked about it. At one point, Courage brings escargot. This is really ironic because baby birds eat snails, worms, and bugs, but they didn't eat that, right? The
So
production.
crazy.
The production
Slug.
is the same as the last episode, where it was finished in 2001 but didn't air until 2002. So that is all of it, my dude.
Wow. That was nothing.
The episode was not the second part of the episode was not long. It was more of a Looney Tunes-esque thing. And even then, it wasn't too terrible.
You start out thinking Mommy Bird's going to be the problem, and then it turns out she just wanted to find love. She was still the problem, though, now that I think about it.
She wants bird love.
It's bird love between two birds.
Let me go ahead and give my rating on the episode.
You go for it, bud.
Yeah, bud. We're kind of scrambling for rates here.
Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong.
I'm gonna give this I'll give it a 3 out of 5 chewed up worms. I'll go for the low hanging fruit there.
Seafood. Got it.
Gotcha. Yep, you got it.
I give it a 2.5. A fake Birdman out of 5.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
No.
You guys watch Bird Girl yet? You should.
No, I did not watch Bird Girl.
1 or 2 episodes. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's fun. It's very fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Although it's
all right.
It's hard to get into, but yes, it is.
Yeah.
Not
Is
bad.
it hard to get into?
I think because we watched Harvey
comparatively.
Birdman. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because we watched Harvey Birdman. That's the only reason it's hard to get into. So
Because Harvey Birdman is chaotic with a plot. This is more plot with chaotic elements.
Harvey Birdman is 12 minutes of just straight up fighting.
I shall shrink the
No.
box.
Not fighting, like sorry. Aggressive joke telling.
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I love it though. It's one of my it's my favorite Adult Swim show. So
Fun. Thought that was 12-ounce mouse.
Nah, fucking 12-ounce mouse.
that's close to my heart, but it's only because of the editor. The editor was someone just like,
the editor.
I don't know what to do with this. Fuck it. He just went for it. Oh god, Dave Bodowitz, beautiful man.
This episode.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This episode was not great for me.
Yeah, go low if you gotta go low.
Ugh.
Might as well hit it.
I'll call it 2emptynesters.com out of 5.
Oh,
Good.
empty nesters. No.
Yeah, it's a dating site for birds.
I know what it is.
I've
I've
It's a
been
dating site for birds.
been there, says Tim.
Life is lonely, but not that lonely.
I don't know. I'm pretty lonely.
But
Yeah, it was a fine episode, but I probably wouldn't watch it again if given a choice.
yeah, I'd see what's on a different channel to be for sure. So
First part was great. Mondo magic,
I
amazing.
love it. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You front load it, and there you go.
Compared to, I don't even remember the name of this episode.
fishy
Watch
business.
the
No,
birdies.
sorry, watch the birdies. That's the next episode.
Watch the birdies. Did you have the list in front of you when you said that to me?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Nah, bud.
No, you're a better person than I.
He's less drunk than us. God damn it!
I'm a professional.
After what 3 seasons, you better be.
I'm professional. I'm a podcast professional. Ask anybody that knows that I do a podcast.
Yes, in our new podcast, the Yu-Gi-Oh.
No podcast. Yeah, podcast. No.
You'll tell us. Do you want us to watch Scooby-Doo or Yu-Gi-Oh?
Our next episodes are Fishy Business and Angry Nasty People. We look forward to seeing you next month. It'll be fun times had by all. We will go back to cover the
missing episodes.
previous
Yeah,
It's up to you to
the
figure out
missing
which one it is.
The
missing
Night of the
episodes.
Scarecrow. Oh, I hit back.
Which was good, but you'll never know.
Night of the Scarecrow and So in Louvre Are We. 2 episodes we have
Louvre.
missed. So we'll be back for those again later.
Yeah, we'll cover them, I promise, but we gotta get some distance between it after the recording.
'Cause
Sorry
we're
it
just
failed.
equals.
Sorry we were gone for so long.
Life happens.
Sheldon
yeah.
had problems.
Well, we all had problems.
I mean, I'm at a different job. Life
we
is
have all
fucking
we have
rough.
all had transition and issues to the point where it's like, hey, the 6 of you that listen to us, thanks. Also, rate us on whatever thing you listen to us on.
Apple, Spotify, whatever. Fucking.
I would really like a mattress.
It's not gonna happen.
It'll happen.
Hey man, we just need to. No, I won't say their name.
It'll happen.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye,
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Listen to the new Primus.
Don't you advertise for Primus on the podcast.